All right, let's just dive right in. If you're running a CPA firm in the US right now, you know the feeling. It's a squeeze, right? Client demands are just going through the roof, staffing is a constant headache, and tax season, well, it feels like a marathon that just never ends. So today we're going to break down a really important strategic shift that's helping firms go beyond just surviving and actually start thriving: outsourcing to India. This quote, this just hits the nail on the head. This is the core problem. The old way of just piling all the routine tasks onto your best people, it's not just inefficient, it's actively holding you back. The real goal is to get your team working on the firm, not just drowning in the firm. And that's the huge barrier we're talking about today. So let's get personal for a second. Does this feel familiar? Are you constantly, and I mean constantly, battling staffing shortages? Do you feel like client expectations are climbing way faster than your team's capacity? Is your tax season workload getting more and more unpredictable every single year? If you're sitting there nodding your head right now, trust me, you are not alone. And all of this leads us to what we're calling the CPA's dilemma. The way firms have traditionally operated, well, it's starting to crack under the pressure. It's forcing everyone to look for smarter, more efficient ways to get the work done.
It's really a perfect storm of three major trends. First off, clients don't just want tax prep anymore. They expect year-round advisory support. Second, the talent squeeze in the US is real, making it incredibly tough to hire qualified people. And third, your operational costs are going up, but your margins are staying flat. Any one of these is a major challenge. All three together, they're forcing a fundamental change.
So, what's the answer to this whole dilemma? Well, for thousands of firms, that answer is India. But here's the thing. The conversation around this has totally changed. Look, this isn't just about saving a few bucks anymore. This is a strategic move to get access to capabilities that are really expensive and hard to build on your own.
So why India specifically? Well, a few big reasons. For starters, there's a massive pool of incredible talent that's already trained in US standards like GAAP. Second, that time zone difference is a huge advantage. It literally creates a 24-hour work cycle. Work gets done while you're sleeping. Third, you get teams that are experts at process-driven work following strict standard operating procedures, or SOPs, which means incredible accuracy. And finally, yeah, the lower cost is a factor, but the smartest firms don't just pocket the savings. They see it as fuel to reinvest back into growth.
Okay, so what does this actually look like day to day? The strategy is actually pretty simple. You offload the high-volume, repetitive work so you can free up your team here in the US to focus on high-value client advisory. So let's look at the tasks that are perfect for this.
This really shows the sweet spot. We're talking about tax preparation, all that routine bookkeeping and client accounting services, payroll, and even the whole end-to-end accounting process for some clients. When you delegate these things, you're basically freeing your experts from focusing on the inputs and letting them deliver the valuable insights that your clients will actually pay more for.
All right, now for the best part, the payoff. Because when this is done right, a successful partnership delivers some seriously deep benefits that can totally transform how your firm runs. You know, when we talk to firms that do this successfully, they almost always point to just five major wins that are absolute game changers for their capacity, their efficiency, and their growth. Let's quickly run through them. First, capacity planning is no longer a last-minute fire drill, it becomes strategic. Second, you get higher accuracy because you have teams laser-focused on standardized processes. Third, and this is a big one, you see a drastic improvement in your turnaround times. Fourth, your costs become predictable monthly expenses instead of being all over the place. And fifth, you can finally onboard new clients with confidence because you actually know you have the bandwidth to serve them well.
I mean, look at this. This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? You go from this reactive state of chaos, staff burnout, unpredictable workflows, stalled growth, to a proactive, scalable operation. This is the change that lets a smaller firm operate with the power and the efficiency of a much, much larger one.
Okay, so all of this sounds great, but the big question is it time for your firm to consider this? Well, we've got a simple checklist that can help you figure that out. Just ask yourself these questions, honestly. Is your team drowning in routine tasks? Do deadlines just feel harder and harder to manage every single year? Do you want to expand your services, but you just don't have the bandwidth? Here's the bottom line from all the research. If you found yourself saying yes to even just 2 of these points, an outsourcing partnership could be your smartest, most direct path to getting stable and ready to scale.
And I really want to leave you with this final thought. For just a minute, forget about surviving the next tax season. Instead, ask yourself this. What could you build? What new advisory services could you offer? What kind of firm could you become if your best people weren't constantly bogged down in the busy work? That is the real opportunity here.